Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics pre-lockout chat ahead of round 21. As you can see, I'm in the car, parked, ready to go, because we had to get it recorded like this because otherwise I'd be late for the Crows game tonight. So I thought I'd do a bit of a makeshift setup. So we've got the webcam going, we've got the laptop in the car. So we'll answer all your questions as we always do, plus go through our captains and everything like that. But it'll just be a solo pod tonight. No co-host, no guests or anything. No one seemed to be free. So thought we'd still jump on and do a bit of a chat anyway. I'll answer your questions ahead of lockout tonight and then ahead of the weekend. So appreciate everyone tuning in. For those on the pod as well, it is Friday the 1st of August ahead of round 21. Friday night footy, big game, Crows and Hawthorn, which I'll be obviously in attendance for. So looking forward to going to that game. And yeah, if you are tuning in live, chuck in your questions. I'll be live for probably half an hour, probably a shorter one tonight, just because I'll have to get out and get to the game. So, but yeah, check your questions in. We'll answer all those as well there. And yeah, let's get through it. So people probably want to know what my trades are this week. So I've pivoted trades. So I've still got Merritt to Whitfield. That trade's still being done. But the other trade was Caleb Daniel to Kennedy. I pivoted that, which I'm glad, pivoting away from Kenny, was going to go to Myers. But then heard some rumours through a few North track watches yesterday that Chloe McKercher was training with the forwards. So I've actually traded McKercher out instead of Caleb Daniel, which could be a bit silly, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm bringing in Jack Sinclair, and I was pretty keen on Jack Sinclair all week. I wanted him, but I thought, well, let's go get Jack Sinclair this week for a good matchup. And I'd probably, if I'm going Sinclair and Daniel or Myers and McKercher, if McKercher's playing forward, I'd prefer Caleb Daniel. So I'm going to go for that way instead. And we'll see how that does go. Looking at the Sunday teams as well. So we'll go through the changes there. One very annoying change, unfortunately, for St Kilda that they've made. So we'll go through the change here. So St Kilda have brought in Hugo Garcia and bloody Max Heath have come in to the squad. So really annoyed that Max Heath has come in. I don't really see the point. They're up against a cherryless North Melbourne. They're going to win it, hit that battle anyway. I don't really know why they're bringing Heath in, and people might say, "Oh, they're trying to just give Max Heath a bit of a run," but no one really cares about Max Heath, to be honest, in fantasy. So it's really disappointing for fantasy. It means that Marshall will slide down my captain order, unfortunately. Ari Showmaker's been dropped along with Lance Collard. And then for North Melbourne, Nick Larkey, George Wardlaw, Cooper Harvey come in. Jai Simpkin out injured, and then Finbar Marley and Will Dawson have both been dropped. So good for a Luke Parker and maybe even a Sheasel, maybe for a few CBAs that Phillips isn't there. He is in the emergencies, along with Jordy Payne, who a few people might have thought could have come in for his debut. Geelong, Port Adelaide. Geelong going unchanged. Port Adelaide, Jack Whitlock making his debut. Manny Liddy and Will Lorenz come in. Bergman out injured, obviously, with that shoulder injuries out for the rest of the season. The coach is out injured, and Evans is ill, so he's not playing as well. And then Carlton, Freo unchanged, and then Carlton, Flynn Young, Lewis Young, and Francis Evans come back in. For Sam Doherty, Charlie Curnow is out injured, and I think he looks like he'll be out for the rest of the year with surgery on the knee. And then Adam Cherry's out injured as well. So a couple of changes there. So Max Heath is the big one, unfortunately. As I said, really disappointing that he's been named because I had Marshall as my number one captain option this week. But with that change, the order has been slightly adjusted because of Rowan Marshall will not be solo. I just don't know if I love the massive ceiling. So let's go through the top 10 captains for round 21. And I do have a new number one. Nasai Wanganeen-Mellera is now the number one captain option for the week. I go up against North Melbourne. We know his form has just been incredible. So he is just getting it done week in, week out. So I've got him as my number one option. Number two, I've got Max Gawn up against West Coast. Bailey Williams obviously is a little bit trickier than a Matt Flynn, but scored 158 against the Eagles there this year. I think Gawney will get it done. Mad Max, as they're calling in this week, after some, obviously what happened last week against St Kilda. He could be breathing fire, wanting a big game. I do have, I've got Noah Anderson at number 3. I think that he will go quite well against Richmond. I think he will go fairly big. So he's had a pretty good history against Richmond as well. 110, 126, 99, 134, 141 in his 5 games against them. Yeah, I think he'll go really well. I've got Brady Grundy at number 4 with a 115 against the Bombers earlier this year. Slight concern that Laddams has been named, so I think Laddams might sort of chip into that ceiling a little bit, but I think it's a good matchup, and I think that Grundy will still get to a solid score. Ron Marshall has dropped down to number 5. I just think that ceiling's all pretty much completely gone with the fact that Max Heath has been named. So for me, I'm not looking at Marshall over Nasai this week. So if you got Nasai, you're going him, and Marshall's down number 5. I did have Whitfield at number 6, so 118 was a good score. I think you take it. I think 118 you're taking. I'm pretty happy with the 118. So if you've had Whitfield VC, I'd be taking him. Got Matt Rowell at number 7. There's an argument to be made that he could even be bumped into the top 5 over Rowan Marshall with the Richmond matchup. I think he could go really well. And he's got a pretty good history against Richmond as well. 88, 122, 112, 110, 95 in his last 5. So I think he'll go well. I've got Nick Dacos at number 8. Good record against Brisbane, 131, 116, 101, 110, including a grand final with that 110. I think he'll go well. Brisbane will have plans for him, but I think Dacos splitting his time between halfback and midfield is a lot better for him and any potential attention. Baz at number 9, 123 against Port earlier this year. I think he goes well again, but obviously just a bit down the list just with the whole fact that is he going to be a laid out or anything like that. So he is number 9. And I've got Tim English at number 10. And he was really good last night, 129. Should have had him higher. So you're definitely taking that there. And part of me is very tempted actually to put Marshall down at number 7 and put Rao up to number 5 with that there. But I still think Marshall will still get to a decent enough score. The fact he's up against just Bryn Teakle, but that would just be something I might even change on captain change. I might put Matt Rowell in over a Rowan Marshall captain there. So actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna do it actually. So I'm gonna bump Rowan Marshall out of the top 5 just with Heath in there because there's a chance that they just play him a fair bit forward against there. So Matt Rowell is in the top 5. I've decided to do that. Matt Rowell's gone into the top 5, and he is at number 5. Whitfield 6, Marshall's at 7. I just think if they rest him forward a bit, there's a chance that they do that. So, he's been bumped out of the top 10, or top 5, sorry. So he's at number 7. Ryan Marshall. So I have got the captain on Nasai Wanganeen-Mellera, and my VC currently is on Brady Grundy. I have thought about Nick Dacos as a potential VC option. That's the potential there. So I might go there if I want to look for a really big ceiling score, but at the moment it is Brady Grundy. So yes, so let's get into your questions. So if you are tuning in live, chuck in your questions. So I can answer those there, and I'll answer as many as I can before I do end up finishing the stream to head into the Crows game. So Red Lighting has got the first one. He's saying, can someone tell me in the chat? So Doc and McCarthy to assign a 344k or less midfielder, probably Marshall. I'd go for Jaiden and Guy if you're doing that one. So let's just say you're doing Nasai and a rookie. Johnson and Doc to a 230k rook and a 1.104 mil defender or midfielder have Wit already. So Redline, the thing I'd probably say is if McCarthy's on your bench, and this is just purely on field, so you go McCarthy down on your bench and Doc up, I'd go get Nasai. I would just go get the money. I'm happy to trade at McCarthy if it gets you Nasai. If McCarthy's on your field, though, I'll be doing the second option, and I'd be going Johnson down and Doc up. Keep McCarthy on field if he's on your field, and then go get, you're probably just short of Matt Rowell, but I like Noah Anderson. So Noah Anderson be my pick if you don't have him. Jack Sinclair. Actually, Jack Sinclair's my number 1. If you don't have Jack Sinclair, he's number 1. But if you've already got him, then I'd go Noah Anderson. Matt's got next question. Boys, would you trade bench rookie to a 230k rookie? And Rankin to Myers, or would you go Rankin to Cameron and Rosie to Sinclair or Butters to Anderson? Good question, that one. Rankin to Myers rookie down. We'll go Rankin to Cameron, Rosie to Butters to Anderson. I don't mind Rankin to Cameron, Butters to Anderson. Actually, no, you know what? If you can do this, Matt, I actually don't mind the idea of going Rankin to Cameron and Butters to Sinclair. I think Rosie's still fine. I just think Butters gets attention. That's my worry from Mullen. So if you want to get out of a potential tag, Butters is unique in my finals matchup. Only other liabilities on my team: McKercher, Mills, Warner, Petrarca. Well, you could trade McKercher if you think that he is going to go forward. He could be the play. Or what could you go like Rankin to Cameron and then go McKercher up to someone? Maybe go McKercher up to Sinclair. That would be my question, Matt. But if not, I don't mind Butters to Anderson to just trade out a potential tag if he's a unique in your matchup. Lee Everett, I don't know how you consider the coach a liability or look at where he's been scoring. Yeah, but I this is obviously before I said, but yeah, I think that there's a chance that he does play forward based on Track Watchers saying he was training with the forwards at training on Thursday. Patrick McDonald, McRae, Myers or Cameron F6. The safer plays Myers because he's got a pretty safe floor. The ceiling plays Jeremy Cameron, but I think Jeremy Cameron's a better play in a couple of weeks' time or as an F7. If Jeremy Cameron was your F7, I'd say him, but I think Myers is safer. The only way I'd say Cameron over him would be if that 100K will get you a better upgrade next week. If that 100K could be useful, then maybe you do that. So that might be what you could do. Brad McLeod, do we trade Rosie? The hand's making me nervous now this season is all but done. Yeah, you can. If he's your biggest issue, you can trade. But I'm still happy enough to hold. He still scored 95 in the wet and got stumped last week, and he still went pretty well and played huge game time. So I think that you still find a hold, but it would depend on what other issues you've got. But you can trade if he's your biggest issue. Eliza, Daniel to McRae, McCarthy to Nando, or 2 Rooks to Cameron? Ooh. If McCarthy's on field, I'm pro McCarthy to Nando. I think if McCarthy's your player on field, I'm McCarthy up to Nando and then a rookie down. Because if you didn't have McCarthy on field, I think the 2 rookies to Cameron would be a good play. But I think that if McCarthy's on your field, you've got to get him upgraded, get Nando in. He's got Richmond this week. I like that matchup. Nige says Jack Steele in last week, out this week, thinking Goulden to be different. Thoughts? Yeah, you could trade Jack Steele. It's really disappointing that a lot of people were trading into him at such high price last week, and the fact that now he's got this shoulder injury. I think Drew Jones said on the chat with Warnio today that there's a potential that relationship has fractured a little bit, and he might be on the outer at the end of the season. So I'd probably trade. And Goulden's a good option against the Bombers, but it is going to be really wet, so the ceiling might not be there. If you like Goulden, you can go him. I prefer like an Anderson or a Matt Rao. Or even a Jack Sinclair if you don't have him. But I don't mind Goulden if you wanted to go there. Patrick McDonald, Myers or McRae for the run home. McRae getting their CBAs and Todd better run. I'd go Myers out of the 2 Patricks. I think Myers' run is also very good on the run home. Apparently Steele was training with the forwards, so yeah, you can go, says Has. Yep, that would be, if he's training with the forwards, he's got to go. Figsy, is McRae in trouble? Could be sub Sunday. I don't know if he'd be the sub Sunday. I'll have a look at the teams on the app here and just see if there's any potential chance that he is the sub. Let me have a look. So St Kilda teams, McRae and Jack Steele on the bench. Funny enough, is very, very interesting. There is a chance, right? But I'm just not sure. Jordy's saying for me to check the Saints Nation tweet. Is there something that's going on here? Let me have a look. Jack McRae, the most likely sub option, played 50% TOG in the 4th quarter against Melbourne, tied for 4th lowest with Arian Burns, also split time between the 1s and 2s group at training today. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. So I would not be trading Jack McRae if that's the case. So trading into Jack McRae. Yeah, right. Okay. Very, very interesting. Yep, that's yep. If McRae sub, that's a big one that people are going to own. So, yep, I'd be trading him. I'd be holding a trade for Sunday. I think if most people are in that scenario, I'd be holding a trade for Sunday, just in case something happens. So that's what I'd be doing. What do you got here? Lee Everett, Bells went Brayshaw to Hayden Young and Bermonton aside. Do you tick that off? I don't love trading Brayshaw out. I'd try and find, is there another player, Lee, that you can trade to get those trades done? I wouldn't. I like going Birdman up to Nasiah, but I wouldn't be doing Brayshaw down to do it personally. I'd be trying to find someone else. Bells, do you think Crom will win by 100 points tonight, or will they win by 150? I think it'd be a good game tonight. I don't think it'll be as big as that, but I hope the Crows win. Raymond Chav, already bought in Kennedy. Should I move Caleb Daniel or Rankin out? I think Rankin probably out of the 2 would be gone, because at least Caleb Daniel's still got a halfback role. So for me, it would be Rankin would be the one that would be gone for me personally. as much as that pains me to say as a Crows fan, he's just playing so much forward, just not really having that that midfield role. And Caleb Daniel has still got that half-back role. Caleb Daniel is still being named on field. So, yep, I'll be doing ranking out. Shannon Page, dedication bells reminds me of MJ doing his Periscope streams from his car back in the day. Yep, no, I'm happy to be on and doing this before the game. So I'll be live for, it'll be like a short one. It'll only be like another 15 minutes or so I'll be doing it for. So, or if we answer all the questions, then yeah, I guess we'll see. But no, Shannon, appreciate the kind words there. Larrett177, Gawn or Marshall rest of season? I think Heath in is enough to go for me to go Gawn. I don't love Marshall sharing. He can still go well in his matchups, and Heath may well be out next week, right? But I don't love Heath being in. It just takes that ceiling away, whereas Gawn is still solo. So for me, it's Gawn. I was Marshall all week, but I think it's now Gawn. Michelle Lee, Saints Nation report on Twitter that McRae split his time between first and teams at training split his time. He only spent 50% Tog in final quarter last week. They're speculating he might be sub. Yep. Obviously, was just reading that, but yes, there is a chance that definitely could happen. So yeah, I'll be looking at that one. Andrew, thoughts on Connor Rosie to Bont and Dale to Sicily? Yeah, I don't actually mind those trades, to be fair. Obviously, they're locked in anyway, right? You've obviously brought in Bont and you've traded out Dale, so I don't hate those trades. But I'd prefer to keep Rosie personally. If you could do someone else other than Rosie, but if Rosie's your biggest issue, then I don't hate it. Lee Everett Bells, I think you're overreacting with McKercher. He will still play his role. I'm just saying, last time I saw a tweet that a North Melbourne player was training the forwards with Shears when he went back to forward. So I just don't see why they'd be training him in the forward line if they weren't going to play him there. So, I'm just having a look at their team. I was having a look at their team sheet, right? So if we look at the defenders on their team sheet and the forwards, because this would be an interesting thing for me to have a look at. So defenders that they've got on their team sheet. So Zane Dersman's going to play in defence. They've got Foss who can play there, Caleb Daniel, Riley Hardeman, Griffin Logue, Toby Pink, Charlie Comben. And then they've got a heap of forwards not on the bench. So it's interesting there. So they've got a lot of forwards there. So yeah, it's like team sheets still look very similar to last week. So like they brought in Wardlaw for Simpkin essentially, Larkey for Finbar Marley, and then Cooper Harvey comes in for Will Dawson. So defender is out. It is an interesting one, right? I'm just saying what I heard, and I asked Drew Jones about it, and he said he'd have a look for us. So hopefully we can hear something about that moving forward with him. Bella, hey Bales, Daniels to Myers or McRae? Hey, Daniel to Myers or McRae, or Steele to anyone? I think it's Jack Steele to anyone personally, Bella. I think just with the fact that he's spending time forward, splitting time between the ones and twos, I'd be trading him out, I think. So that was what I would be doing. Matt, no, I wouldn't have enough cash for Kirch to get anyone good, says Matt. Okay, yeah, so I'd do the other trades I was talking about there. What do we got here? Has Bales 2 rooks up to a primo or sideways out of merit tagged to the Messiah and 2 rookies up next week? So 2 rookies up to a primo or sideways out merit tag. I like the merit up to Messiah trade, I reckon. So I'd be doing that trade personally. So I'd be doing that one. I'd go get Messiah in. Jack Halligan, hey Bales, do you think Messiah and McCarthy or Sinclair and Young score more? Thinking Young could be a shout. He could be. I think I still prefer Nasai and McCarthy though. I just think you've got to have Nasai personally, Jack. So I'd prefer to have Nasai and McCarthy. Raymond Chav, should I trade Zorko or Merritt out? That's a tricky one. I think it's depends what you're more scared of. You're more scared of a James Jordan tag, or you're more scared of a Zorko with a sore foot? I'd probably say Zorko, just with the sore foot. I don't want to par that to an early sub potential, whereas at least Merritt could still go okay, and maybe they don't tag. So I'd probably say Zorko out Raymond, but either or. You could do either or. Louis Leary, why would St Kilda pick Heath when they're playing Teakle? So frustrating. Yeah, mate, I know. I don't know why personally, but it is what it is. I just don't know why they're playing Heath. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, but yeah. Michelle Lee, should I trade Marshall to Gawn with Heath being named, or just roll with Marshall and go Zorka to Fiorini? No, I wouldn't be trading Marshall out. I'd be doing Zorka to Fearing if that's the trade that you're after. But I wouldn't be trading Marshall, but I wouldn't be trading him in. So it's a hold for those that've got him, but it's not trading in for those that don't have him. I wouldn't be trading him. He can still go all right. He has got an easy matchup against Teakle. Like, he might not have that same ceiling, but I still think he goes all right. John says, would you hold Steele or bring in Ralph? I don't mind going Steele to Ralph. That's definitely a play that you could be doing, John, for sure. So I would be potentially looking at doing that. Dylan James, where's Dan Curtin playing? Probably on a wing. He only played in midfield last week a lot because Dawson rested the end of the game. So I'd be going for, I think he'll be playing on a wing personally. And I'm just seeing, as the subs have not been released just yet. We're still about 5 or so minutes away from, probably stay to about then I'll probably head off, I reckon. Thanks, Buzz. Enjoy the footy, Matt. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Dylan James, does Rankin or Caleb Daniel go? Rankin for me, Dylan, goes first. I just think he doesn't have that half-back role. So I'd be trading him out first, I reckon. So that is what I would be doing. BAILSDT isn't playing. Why are you going, says Has. Oh, mate, go to every Crows home game. Even when it's wet. The only one I missed this year was, funny enough, the Brisbane game. So, yeah, give me 2 seconds. Just replying to a message. Ooh. Cool. Shady Force, should be a cracking game tonight. Go Hawks. I'm not going to probably agree with you that, but I'll agree with the first part of your question, your comment there. Should be a cracking game. Yes, I agree. But go Hawks. I probably can't get on board with that one, unfortunately. So, yeah, hopefully the Crows get the job done. It should be a great game. Kashil Harani says, is trading out Dawson for Al a good idea? Probably not. I probably wouldn't do that personally. Dawson's been good, like been solid all year. I know he's had a down few weeks, but I just think it's a little bit too sideways for me. I know that we're doing sideways trades this time of the year, but for me, I'm probably not doing that trade. I'd be holding Dawson. I'd be finding someone else, Kashil, that I'd be trading out. Who gets a sub? Conor McDonald or Warple? Well, we're going to find out in a couple of minutes. I don't think either or would get it, to be honest. I think this will be one where Hawthorn will pick a sub from their field. I think Chol will be the sub. I don't think they're going to play 4 tolls personally. Like, there is a chance that they put one of those other guys sub. Like, if it's anyone else on field, it could be like a Morrison. It's a pretty strong Hawthorn team, right? So, like, there's no obvious sub. Like, it could be Warple, could be McDonald, but I don't know. Like, it could be Kausha Deer because he's known on the bench. From the bench, I think Deer's probably the likely one, but he played well last week. So, I don't think that'd be the case. But I guess Has will find out in a couple of minutes. Enjoy the game, mate. I'll try and spot you on TV, says Dylan James. We'll have to see if we're on the TV, mate. Hopefully we are. Andrew said, end up going Butters to Bont because the Butters tag. Yeah, don't mind that. Yep, if you want to go and get rid of the Butters potential tag, I don't mind that. Then I think they got Frere next week. That could be Wagner or Amira going to Butters as well. Kashil says, all right, cheers. All good, Kashil. All happy to help. So it's pretty much all the questions answered. So we've actually answered the questions pretty quickly. So I'll just wait till the subs are announced for the game tonight, then I'll probably head off. So any last-minute questions, feel free to chuck them in the comments. I'll be live for probably 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I'll wrap up. Kent Hodder, Sunday trade target if sub, McRae to Jezza or Myers? If McRae sub, probably Myers is the safer play. I think he'd probably be the play. Figsy, Dylan Moore or Daniel? I'm assuming you to trade out. I wouldn't be trading in. To trade out, it's Daniel. I'd be trading out Daniel, so I'd be keeping Moore. If I'm trading in, I don't love either. I'd go for a Cameron instead of both of those guys, or a Myers or something like that if you can afford them. Raymond Chav, who are your VC and C this week, Bales? So I've currently got the VC on Brody Grundy, and I've got the captaincy on Nasai Wanganeen Miller. It was on Marshall until I heard about the Heath in, so Marshall has dropped out of my top 5 into number 7, and Rao moves into the top 5, and Nasai goes to number 1. So I've got Nasai captain this week. Matt, would you go Butters to Anderson or Kirch to Fiorini? Well, they both play on the Sunday, obviously, Ando or Fiorini, so you got to make that call beforehand. I thought I'd like Anderson better, but I don't know if I think it's Butters to Anderson, but it's very sideways. McKercher, if he's playing forward, might drop a poor score, but there's obviously no concrete guarantee that he is playing forward. So I'll say Kirch to Fiorini for something a little bit different. Maybe go a little bit different there. Go Fiorini. Have a little bit of fun. Dylan Jones, do I trade Tom Green for Nasiah or Baz? Go Nasiah, Dylan. There's still that risk that Baz is that laid out, right? So I go Nasiah out of those two. But great, you traded Tom Green. I'm assuming this is for next week, though, unless you traded Tom Green out last night and you're just looking at one of these two. But I'd go Nasiah. Figsy, can we trade out McRae if Dane traded out if McRae's sub? Yeah, you can trade out McRae if you got to trade him out, right? If he's sub, you got to trade him out. Gorn or Grundy VC? Gorn, definitely. Gorn's my number 2 option this week. So it's Gorn for me with the VC. What do you trade this week, says Louis Leary? My trades, I will tell you in 2 seconds because I'll just answer these last couple and then I'll head off and then wrap up the pod. So just double checking if the subs have been announced for the game. Chase Jones and James Warple is the sub for Hawthorn. So they have opted to go for the 4 tools. So that's really interesting that they're opting to do that. I've got Warple in a draft league, so I have to make sure he's on the bench. Who wins tonight, says Lock Talks Footy. I'm hoping the Crows do, and the fact it's at home, I'm going to say the Crows, but Hawthorn are a pretty good team, so I wouldn't be shocked either way. Bart Lowe, hey Bales, would you trade out Clay Hall or Cooper Harvey? Both on the bench. Who's got the lower break even? What's the prices of those guys? So Clay Hall is 563, break even of 44. And Cooper Harvey, 429, break even of 29. I'll probably say Clay Hall because he's more expensive. You get a little bit more money. So I think Clay Hall goes if he's on your bench. As a Dogs fan, love watching us pump the Giants as a non-Witters or Ash owner. Can we stop kicking behinds? Yep. No, I was glad as a Whitfield owner, but not as an Ash owner. Or sorry, not as an Ash non-owner. Dylan Jones, I traded Tom Green last night. Really lucky. Did you keep him, Bales? Yeah, I had to, unfortunately. I thought he was going to go Ben the way he did, but he might be on the trading bot next week. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, well that'll wrap us up for tonight. Just because I've got to head off to the game now. But in terms of my trades, Louis, that you're asking about, so currently my trades as it stands, I have traded out Zach Barrett and I brought in Lockie Whitfield last night, and then I've gone McKercher out to Jack Sinclair. So if I hear a little bit more about this McKercher playing forward, I might keep him as an out. If he's going to play half back, I might just go Caleb Daniel to grind Myers and just do that trade. But at the moment, they are the trades I'm currently settled on for the week. And I'm going to make sure that I do bench Warple, which means Neil Bullen, who I was looping to see what he'd score anyway. But that just means he'll come straight onto the field in my draft side for me. So that is fine. So good luck and have fun at the footy bars, Carn the Crom. Yes, hopefully they get the job done, mate. I'm really hoping that they can get the win. Tonight should be an absolute cracking game. So really looking forward to that. But yes, and my VC&C for any of those that missed it is Granny VC at the moment into Nasiah, but I might go Dacos if I want that real ceiling, just because Ladham's there. I'm just a bit worried that I might not get that massive ceiling saw. And going into Nasiah anyway, I might just decide to roll the dice with the VC. So there we go. That's the pre-lockout chat for another Friday. A lot shorter than what we normally do, probably 20 minutes shorter than normal, but obviously heading to the game. But I thought I'd still get pre-lockout chat done for you guys. But appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in. And thanks for everyone that sent through their questions. I'm glad I got to all the questions tonight. Really good to answer all those for you. But if you are watching along live right now, make sure you do smash a big thumbs up on the video. That would be very much appreciated. It takes 2 seconds of your time, and it really helps us out on the channel. And also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We're on our way to 5K subscribers now. So we just passed 4,100. So we're on our way to 5K. So if you can subscribe, we've got daily content still on the channel for the remainder of the season. Plus, we've got AFLW content making its way. Obviously, we had our first pod, me and Tom, early in the week, and we got our team reveals next week. So looking forward to that. Yeah, if you want to jump on the Patreon for the final month of the season as well, shout us a pint, shout us a coffee. Head over to Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics is where you can find that. Link to that is in the description below. And if you're listening back on the podcast and can leave us a 5-star rating and review, that would be very much appreciated there. And no watch on tonight. Obviously, I'll be at the game, but I'll be back for a watch on tomorrow night for the Pies-Lions game. So if you want to chat footy with me there and watch the game together, we'll be doing the watch on for that one. So it should be a cracking game tomorrow night as well. Some really good primetime games this week, which is really good. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good week. Good luck with your trades. Good luck with the players tonight. Good luck tomorrow. And we'll chat to you guys in the watch song tomorrow night. and then we'll be live for our round review Sunday night after the final game of the round, and we'll tweet out when we're live then as well. Because looking at the matches, actually I'll just quickly double check, when is that match? That match is on, that last one is on at 5:10, so that'll be about probably an 8 p.m. 8:30 Eastern, 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Perth time start time for Sunday night review. So we'll catch you guys on Sunday night for our round review. So thanks everyone, good luck this week, we'll chat to you guys soon. Thanks everyone, have a good night, see ya.